Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another knife review for you today. And today I'm actually going to do a video on a brand new knife that's been out for quite a while now. It's very, very limited edition. This is the Kershaw Knockout 1870 carbon fiber and M390. This is a very, very limited edition piece. I heard about this knife. I had to have it because it is one that, it's actually a different variation of the same knife that I already own. I'll bring that one out right now. This is the other Kershaw Knockout that I have. This is also a very limited edition years ago. They don't even have this knife anymore. This is the Kershaw brown aluminum scales frame lock version in LMAX steel, as you can see that. This was also produced in very limited quantities. I don't even know how many of these they made. They didn't make very many of them. And then they started, this one's also in black wash as opposed to the knife you see in front of you, which is in the stonewash version. We're going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, they have released different variations of this knife. This is the version that I have because it's the rarest of all the other versions. It came out in M390 before blue anodized scales. I believe I've seen it in red anodized scales. There's also one on eBay right now with the American flag type theme on it, which I thought was really very, very nice. That knife also came out in M390 as well. So M390 is the actual knife that they made different variations on. So this one was kind of like a really very, very limited edition version in LMAX steel. So I'm going to go ahead and take this knife, put it away. We'll talk about this knife right now. So let's go ahead and get right into the specs of this knife. So the overall length of this blade is 7.87. The blade length is 3.50. The sharpened length is 3.25. The blade thickness on this knife is 0.13. They don't have it where it's midpoint or anything, but yeah, it looks like it's a 0.13. The blade material is M390. The blade type is stainless. It's an assisted opening knife, meaning it has a torsion bar inside of the knife, which allows it to pop out, kind of like an automatic knife, except you're actually assisting the knife by pulling on the flipper right here. So one of the most unique things about this knife is that the entire knife is, or I'm going to say at least 75% of this knife, or 88% of the knife, I guess, is all carbon fiber. That was one of the reasons why I had to have it, was the fact that the knife was an all carbon fiber. It's got a black G10 backspacer, and it's also a sub-frame lock, hence where the knife got its name, the Kershaw Knockout. They knocked out a piece of the handle and inserted this sub-frame liner lock, or not liner lock, but sub-frame lock into it, which would cut down on the weight of the knife. The knife is incredibly light. It is way lighter than my aluminum scales version. I don't have a scale with me. Probably I'll have one of those soon as well. But yeah, this is a very, very lightweight knife. Why don't we go ahead and do some size comparisons. I don't have very many knives, but I brought out a few knives that you guys are familiar with. Let's start out with the most expensive one, the Sebenza 21. There it is up against the Sebenza 21. This is a discontinued Kershaw leak in S30, I believe it's S30V steel, is that right? Yes, S30V steel. In G10, sort of like a coarse G10. I've done a video on this knife. If you want to check that out, you can certainly do that. But this is it up against the Kershaw leak. There you go, Spence 21, Kershaw leak. So you can tell so far it's a fairly medium-sized knife. We'll go ahead and do one last one. Get that out of the way. How about the Kershaw Blur Orange County Choppers? So it's about the same exact size as a Kershaw Blur. I know many of you guys probably own a variation of this knife. It's pretty much one of Kershaw's signature knives. The Blur, that and the Leak have now become like the staple in the Kershaw lineup. They don't seem to ever, they're not, probably not going to go away. So let's go ahead and talk about the Kershaw knockout for a little bit. So the way they created this knife is, what they've done, some of the features on this knife are just really unique. First of all, the fact that the entire knife is an all carbon fiber really cuts down on the weight. The only metal you really have on this knife is the blade, the subframe lock right here, and the pocket clip. That's about it. Everything else is all straight carbon fiber, and of course the G10 backspacer. That alone makes the knife a really, really sort of must-have collectible piece. It's sort of a special upgrade to what they have been doing with the aluminum scales. Having it come out in all black carbon fiber, I think it's just a little bit more classier in the way they did this than with the aluminum scales version of the knife. One of the things that I love about this piece is the fact that it has an aggressive stonewash finish on it, as you guys can see. Very aggressive. I mean, if you were to use this heavily, it would hide scratches beautifully, no problem. The flipper is also not the only way of deploying the knife. You can also use the thumb stud, which is right there. It's very well spaced. Some of the thumb studs, the earlier Kershaw knives, the thumb studs weren't actually spaced correctly. Some of them were like a little bit too close to the handle. But here, it's, you know, they just did it perfectly. You wouldn't have a problem opening that with the thumb stud. The carbon fiber itself on this knife is very, very unique. It's kind of got that sort of 3D, if I swing it around in the light there, you guys can see it's kind of got like this 3D sort of reflective look. And like I said, that's all over the entire knife. Really very pretty. I think the only thing that I don't like about the knife as far as aesthetics is the pocket clip. You know, it's the plain old black pocket clip. You would figure that because this is a limited edition piece, they would have a special pocket clip for it with the Kershaw name on it, but instead they went with the regular black deep carry pocket clip, which I'm kind of disappointed in. But at least it is a deep carry pocket clip. It's not one that you know, where the knife would ride up a little bit too high on your in your pants when you were to, if you were to carry this. Then again, I don't use pocket clips. I just put the knife in my pocket. So it is really just an amazing knife. The ergos on it are fantastic. You would think for such a light knife, for such a thin knife, that the ergos would be kind of off on it, but actually they're not. When you're grabbing the knife, your hand kind of hits the knife in this area here, which is very, very comfortable. It's actually the same width as, you know, where you bend your hand in that position there, so it has a really nice grip. The pocket clip itself does not have any hot spots on it. Very, very comfortable. And again, just the lightness of this knife, it just blows me away. I'm very, very excited to use this knife. I can't wait to start getting to use it. This is going to be a user, by the way, not a collectible piece like my Kershaw L-Max brown aluminum scales version. This will forever be, I guess, a safe queen. I won't be using this at all. But yeah, so the Kershaw M390 and all carbon fiber. I'm very, very happy to have this piece in my collection. Not my collection, but my rotation, which I'll be carrying quite often. I'm going to let you guys know how this knife performs probably in the next coming weeks as I find things to cut with. you know, it's kind of sad. Like I said, I work in an office. I don't get too much chance to use knives, but I'm definitely going to be using this one for, you know, just making sure that I've got it on me. If I'm going to be out carrying or cutting something, at least I'll have something that I know I won't be afraid to use. And this is definitely that knife. So this knife retails for about about $129 on USA made blade. That's where I got the knife from. I want to apologize to the guys over at USA made blade, because I was kind of impatient with wondering when I was going to get my tracking number for the knife, and it turns out I had to look into my spam email to find that email, and eventually they actually shot me a quick Instagram and told me that, hey, we got your knife, it's on its way, and I had to give those guys over at USA Made Blade a heads up, because they really do. They were really, really understanding of me. So yeah, so the Kershaw Knockout in carbon fiber M390, definitely a great piece. USA Made Blade still has some. I'm not quite sure how many more of these they've got, but like I said, the knife goes for about $129 on USA Made Blade. I've seen other places where the knife is right around $135. Some have it for $140. USA Made Blade has it for the cheapest price. I definitely suggest you guys go on their website and check them out. They've got a bunch of knives on there. This is definitely one that, you know, I had to have. That was one of their, I guess, not low budget, well, low budget offering for me, which is, you know, $130. Definitely a great buy. And you're getting premium M390 steel. Very rarely do you see a knife, you know, of this quality with a good premium material and premium steel from the $130. You can't go wrong. If you're not a fan of spring assist, I'd definitely suggest get it anyway. I'm kind of impartial to spring assisted blades. I do like them. If the knife is well done and it's the right knife, then yeah, I'll go for it, like this piece right here. So there you have it, the Kershaw Knockout. Do that again, Kershaw Knockout. 1870 carbon fiber and M390. Definitely pick up one of these at USA Made Blade. And again, this is Omar, the Knife Shark guy, signing off, hoping you'll find this piece of amazing sharp art in your collection. This is really just a fantastic, fantastic offering from Kershaw. Really, really very impressed. Pick yourselves up one of these. You won't go wrong. Have a nice night, guys, and God bless. Omar the Knife Shark guy signing off.